Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this, because today we are investigating something absolutely fascinating. You know, when we think about massive, planet-saving climate solutions, we almost always look up, right? We look up at planting billions of trees, or we look towards huge fields of solar panels. But the truth is, one of our absolute greatest allies is actually hidden right beneath the waves.
So, what if the ultimate weapon against climate change is actually acting like a giant natural sponge? Seriously, I want you to think about the ocean for a second. Don't just picture a vast body of water. Try to picture it as this massive, complex network of invisible, carbon-soaking sponges, just silently pulling greenhouse gases right out of the atmosphere, day in and day out.
Section 1. Meet the carbon sponges, nature's secret weapon.
I am so incredibly excited to guide you through the real science behind this whole sponge analogy today, because honestly, the way the Earth has engineered this system is just mind-blowing. To really grasp it, we need to quickly establish our core scientific term here, which is blue carbon. Simply put, blue carbon is just carbon that's captured and safely stored away by the ocean and our coastal ecosystems. So, whenever we talk about our ocean sponges today, we're really talking about the incredible power of blue carbon in action.
And that brings us to what we can call the big three heavy lifters. We've got seagrass meadows, tidal marshes, and mangrove forests. These specific coastal habitats, they're the ultimate natural sponges. And get this, because this stat is wild. Combined, they occupy a microscopic 0.2% of the entire seafloor, just 0.2%. Yet they sequester more than half of all the ocean's carbon. They are absolutely punching way above their weight class.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer speed advantage our coastal sponges have. Look, we all know tropical rainforests are absolutely crucial on land. We need them. But these marine blue carbon habitats, they absorb carbon dioxide at a rate 40 to 50 times faster than a tropical rainforest. 40 to 50 times. It's basically nature's ultra-efficient vacuum cleaner, just working endlessly right there at the water's edge.
Section 2. The deep ocean defenders, beyond the coast.
Okay, we're going to shift our focus now from the shallow coastlines out into the open water. Check this out. Exactly half of our global oxygen supply belongs to phytoplankton. These microscopic primary producers of the sea do so much heavy lifting. They don't just supply at least half the world's oxygen, which is amazing on its own, they also absorb immense quantities of carbon. When they die, or when they just become part of the oceanic food chain, they lock that carbon safely away deep at the bottom of the seafloor.
And it gets better, because these natural sponges come with some incredible bonus powers. Beyond just trapping carbon, they are literal lifesavers and critical food providers. They offer a sanctuary for some of the rarest animals on Earth. They completely underpin global fisheries, which provides primary protein for hundreds of millions of people. And on top of all that, they physically defend our coastlines. They absorb the brutal impact of coastal erosion, severe storms, and even tsunamis.
Section 3. The dangerous carbon bomb, when sponges squeeze back.
Now, as amazing as these ecosystems are, we have to talk about the flip side. They are currently under severe threat, and we really need to understand the incredibly high, urgent stakes of losing them. So, what actually happens when these vital carbon sponges are destroyed? Well, think about a physical sponge sitting perfectly soaked with water in your kitchen. If you crush it or violently tear it apart, what happens? All that water spills right back out everywhere, right?
The environmental reality here is terrifying. When we destroy these habitats, it is quite literally like setting off a massive carbon bomb. Remember, these ecosystems are sitting on carbon they have tirelessly drawn down and preserved in the mud and roots for thousands of years. Destroying them instantly flips them from climate protectors into massive, dangerous sources of greenhouse gases.
And the scary part is we are actively triggering these bombs right now, 25 to 50%. Take a second to process that. That is the staggering amount of vegetated coastal habitats that we have already lost globally. World trends clearly show these vital environments are declining at an extremely fast rate.
1 billion. That's 1 billion tons of CO2 released annually just from the loss of these specific habitats. That is the true, staggering scale of this daily carbon bomb exploding all around the world. Every single time a mangrove forest is cleared, ancient carbon just goes straight up into the atmosphere.
Section 4. High-tech seaweed solutions, a rescue mission.
But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. There is real hope and some incredibly serious innovation happening right now. We are actually witnessing a 1,000-year-old food culture meet cutting-edge climate tech. For centuries, seaweed has been a staple of Japanese food culture.
But now, researchers are looking at seaweed farms with fresh eyes. They're discovering a brilliant way to balance vital food production with massive carbon absorption.
Let's walk through the exact steps of this rescue mission, because it's super cool. Kyushu University and Toyota Motor Kyushu have completely partnered up on this. First, they sink these inexpensive ropes into the sea to actively cultivate new seaweed. Next, they fly drones to precisely measure the seaweed bed areas from above. And finally, they deploy underwater cameras combined with artificial intelligence to analyze exactly what types of seaweed are growing and in what quantities. It allows them to fully, accurately map the carbon flow.
And applying modern technology to nature like this, it creates an incredible ripple effect. AI makes these complex measurements highly efficient and incredibly cost-effective. But it directly helps humans, too. Fishery workers in Japan have been facing severe declines in fish catches due to seaweed bed loss. By rebuilding these habitats, they restore the fish populations, they can issue vital environmental credits, and it successfully unites corporations, universities, and local communities in one shared positive mission.
Section 5. Protecting our blue heart. What's next?
Let's zoom out to the global picture for a minute. Our ocean truly is the blue, beating heart of our planet. It silently absorbs 90% of the excess heat produced by global warming and around a third of all the CO2 we pump out. It is absolutely our largest active carbon sink. Yet consider this super powerful quote: "We don't have a Paris Agreement for the ocean." It's a shocking blind spot. Right now, less than 20% of all countries with blue carbon habitats along their coastlines actually reference protecting them in their national climate mitigation plans. Less than 20%!
So, what must global leaders actually do? The Environmental Justice Foundation lays out 3 crucial actions. First, they need to include legally binding targets to protect blue carbon environments in national climate plans. Second, we have to fully commit to the 30 by 30 plan. That means designating at least 30% of the ocean as well-managed protected areas by 2030. And third, leaders need to agree to an international moratorium on deep-sea mining. And importantly, any future restoration has got to heavily rely on community-led conservationism if it's going to be successful.
So the crucial point is this: blue carbon is a fantastic opportunity. It's a true win-win for mitigation and ecosystem health. But it is not a silver bullet. Our incredible ocean sponges can only absorb so much before they're completely full. We must simultaneously transition to renewable energy and aggressively cut our emissions on all fronts. Our natural sponges are amazing, but they cannot save us all on their own.
Which brings us to our final thought, and really a question for you to ponder. The ocean is our biggest climate ally. So how will you advocate to protect the natural carbon sponges in your world? Whether it's supporting local, community-led conservation efforts, working on reducing your own footprint, or even just sharing the fascinating science you learned today with a friend, every single voice matters. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay